Let us learn some list programs. The first program, write a program to create a list and find its sum using a loop. So we'll have a list of numbers and we have to get those numbers from the user. Continue adding the numbers to the list till the number is positive. So we will ask the user to keep adding numbers. If it is negative, we will stop the loop. What is the question? Keep adding numbers in a loop and find the sum. So whenever you wish to find a sum, initialize a variable called sum as 0. Now we don't know how many times the user is going to type the number, so I will just give while true and enter the loop and ask the user to type a number. So let me assume that as an integer and ask the user enter an integer or enter a number, whatever you wish. Once the user has typed the integer, I should check if n is 0 or positive. In that case, if n is greater than 0, then I will add sum equal to sum plus that number. So how can you do this? You can simply say sum equal to sum plus equal to n. After doing this, if it is not greater than 0, suppose it is a negative number or 0, I will just break the loop and come out. Okay, once I have done this, I will print the sum of numbers. Sum is and print the sum. Very simple. Let's check how this works. Enter an integer 23, 56, 80, 90, 100, 23. Now I'll type minus 2. So it says sum is 309. Why? Because I've typed a non-positive number, so it stops. Okay. So let's look at the next program. Write a program to add the roll number, name and mark of 10 students in the form of a nested list. So this is actually something like a stack program. You have to keep adding the details of 10 students in this format. So for this, you first need a list, right? So list 1 is equal to empty list. Now we should ask the user to type the details 10 times because we need the details of 10 students. So for I in range of 10, I will ask the user to type the roll number. Int of input of enter roll number. Then name. Input name is a string, so enter name. After this, mark. Int of input of, or you can even have float of input. Input, enter, mark. Now once all this is done, this has to be made as a list and then put inside list 1, right? So mark list ML is equal to number, comma, name, comma, mark. Now I am first creating a new list with this details. After this, I will add on to the main list. How do you add an element? List1 dot append of ML. So this list will be added. I will also print the list and show you how it is, how it looks like. But I'm not going to do it 10 times. It will take time. So I will create for 3 students. Now what else is asked in the question? Find the average marks scored. So not only adding it in that, you need to find the average. If you want to find the average, you need to have the sum. So here, every time the user types the mark, you can add that mark to sum. Sum plus equal to mark. Now, how will you find the average? You need to print the average by doing average is equal to mark divided by the number of students. But the problem is, okay, yeah, you know number of students is 10. But here I've made it 3, so I will divide it by 3. Suppose you don't know how many times the user is going to type. If it is a while loop, have a separate count called n equal to 0 and count how many students are typed and give n value here. Okay, so here I've done for 3 students. I will also print the average on the screen. Average is AVG. So let's see how this works. Enter roll number 1, Abhi, mark 100, 2, Piyush, 99. See, the list is added. Roll number 3, Anu, 98, right? So the list is also created as well as the average gets printed. If we do it for 10 students, 10 records will be created. Look at the next program. It's a different type using strings. Write a program to input a list of strings and print the biggest word. So if you want the user to type a list, you need to give L is equal to eval of input of. Instead of us creating the list, the user himself will type the list. Enter a list of strings. After this, for every element in the list, I'm going to check which one is the largest. If you want to find the largest, first you should have some value which you can compare with. I'm first assuming an empty string as the largest one. Now, I will check if length of my largest value, that length of that element is greater than the length of my largest value. That is, if the first element of the list is bigger than the large value which I have assigned, then that element will become the largest value. So this will keep on executing one by one. I will also print largest string is now what, and print large, right? So let's run this program and check. I need to type a list of strings, so put a square bracket. This is a sample program. So I've created a list myself. See, largest string now is this first. Then is small, is small, then comes sample. So now largest string is now sample. Program is small, so it is not getting printed. So which is the largest string now? Sample. This is how you compare strings using a smallest value and check if it is bigger, you will assign that as the largest one. This will also work for numbers. You can assume a small value as large and keep comparing the numbers. Okay. Let's move on to tuples in the next video. Thank you.